Yo, konnichiwa! Welcome everyone back to the Swift ETA channel. I'm Jordan once again today with Noel.
Hey guys.
And today, that's right, it's time to get our thinking caps back on because it's time to study some more.
Study time.
Absolutely. Geography Now has done another one. The states and the territories of India, which means there's more expansion of knowledge that's about to be soaked in to my brain. It was hard enough trying to pick up most of the last one. But I wanted to check out this one as well, so this is how I get more familiar with the geometry of India, just know where is what is where, you know. I feel like it's going to be an interesting one. It is quite long, so do stick around if you can. If you can't, just, you know, follow up later on maybe if you want to.
Yes.
But we're going to go straight into this one. But you know what comes first? Intro time! Okay, so the states and the territories of India, Geography Now. Let's jump straight into this one and let's get it!
Get it.
Hey everybody, before we start, this video is sponsored by a good sponsor that we found, one that I actually believe in and personally endorse, Cetera. It's a geography quiz game. We'll get back to it later. But first, as you guys know, this is a filler week video.
One that
and
I
by
would
popular
fail at.
request, we are doing the states of India. Now, the thing about India is that it's actually kind of broken up quite a few times since independence from the original 14 states, mostly because of the people groups or the languages, stuff like that. So before we get into this, just keep in mind, I am not Indian. I have never even been to India. So in order to make this video, I had to talk to a lot of you guys. I've read a lot of your emails and comments, and I compiled as much information as I possibly could based off of what you guys, the Indian geography peeps, have said. So kind of, you know, if I get anything wrong, it's, you know, kind of your fault. So let's just jump into it. The 29 states and the 7 union territories.
It's funny.
Andhra Pradesh, the capital, Amaravati. Now this is an interesting state because it kind of has like the fastest growing
Damn, that
GDP
building
in all
though.
of India, over
so
16% in the past few years. Over here they speak Telugu, and this guy wrote this play, which is kind of considered like the most prominent Telugu play in all of Indian history.
Too difficult to
Otherwise,
say his
they're
name.
famous for the Kuchipudi dance, one of the 8 classical styles of Indian dance. And yeah, they have great beaches and caves. Arunachal Pradesh, capital Itangar. This is the region that's kind of disputed with China, although it is administered by India. In order to get in as a foreigner, you will need a restricted area permit. Otherwise, culturally, it kind of takes cues from Tibet, you know, the whole like Buddhism thing going on. There's quite a few Buddhists here. People here are super friendly. They're famous for their wood carvings and their carpets. Assam, capital Dispur. Now, if you watch the India episode, you'll know that I talked about the 7 sisters in northeast India. Assam is kind of like the big sister. This place is known for disputably having the nicest tea and silk. And the silks
love
are
tea.
kind of made based off of what they actually feed the silkworms. It's interesting. They're also known for preserving the incredibly rare one-horned Indian rhinoceros. And the longest bridge opened up in 2017 over here as well. Assam.
I wonder how long it
Assam.
is.
Bihar, capital Patna. This is kind of like the Buddha state. Lots of famous sites for Buddhism. Supposedly they have the Bodhi tree that Siddhartha Gautama sat under. Otherwise, on the Hindu side, I was told that they're very big on Ram
I
and
sometimes see
Krishna.
that they
I was
put
also
this
told that
picture.
they're very hardworking people. Chhattisgarh, capital Naya Raipur. From what I was told, this is kind of like a somewhat militant-ish type of area. They're known for producing a lot of coal, and they are kind of one of the poorest states. And there is a noticeable community of people that kind of have Maoist/Naxal ideologies, and it kind of clashes with the main Indian government. But otherwise, generally the people here are just nice, but there's just a little bit of controversy, that's all. Goa. This is the Vegas of India. It was a former
Party
Portuguese
time.
colony, and now it's known for having a ton of Russian tourists that just flock over and take over everything. Great beaches, bars, and cool things happening. But the funny thing is the people in Goa, like the actual citizens, are pretty chill and normal. It's just the tourists that give it the crazy vibe. But yeah, Goa, it's like where everybody wants to go to for a vacation.
It's
You
more
want
like
to
a holiday
go
place
to
for
Goa.
Obasi people.
Gujarat, capital Gandhinagar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is from here. Now this place is famous for a few things. First of all, it's kind of like a desert, and they have one of the largest salt deserts in the world. They have this forest, which has the last of the Asiatic lions in the world. Oh, I forgot, Gandhi
Damn.
was also from here. They are voted
That's
the
number
number
one.
one ease of business state
Whoa.
in India. The people here are very good at doing business, and they're really good at trading. Also, no alcohol is allowed in this state, but that's okay because they go to one of the union territories that we'll talk about later. But yeah, basically, people that can handle
Means I
money
can't go
really
there.
well come from Gujarat. Haryana, capital Chandigarh, which is shared with Punjab. Long story. Haryana, I was told, is kind of like the rougher, tougher brother of Punjab. It's known as like the wrestling and boxing capital of India. And they have one of the highest male to female sex ratios, like there's more men than women. And this place is famous for having a lot of people that are hired to become bodyguards for other people in other states. Like this is the bodyguard state. Himachal Pradesh, which has two capitals, the summer one, Shimla, and the winter one, Dharamshala. This is kind of known as the state
Shimla.
that
This
hosts
from,
the Dalai Lama.
Three Idiots.
But it's actually kind
At
of
the
known
end
as
of
like
it.
the beautiful holiday destination that Indians love to visit. It's known as the abode of snow, one of the snowiest places in all of India. Culture-wise, again, they take a lot of cues from their Tibetan neighbors up north. But yeah, cool state, lots of culture, lots of beautiful landscape. People like to visit for vacations. Jammu and Kashmir also has two capitals. The summer one, Srinagar, and the winter one, Jammu. I have to be very, very careful with this one. Why? Because if you watch the India episode, you'll know that Pakistan and China and India are all kind of vying for ownership of this one area. Basically, the area that is kind of operated by India, we'll talk about. Besides Lakshadweep, it has the highest percentage of Muslims in all of India at about 68%. It used to be ruled under these princely states. And it's funny because like the people here are so nice and welcoming, even though they've gone through like multiple wars. But yeah, it's like the world's most beautiful conflict zone. Jharkhand,
Oh,
capital Ranchi. It's kind of like the sibling of Chhattisgarh. A lot of the people here kind of also have the same Maoist ideology. However, it also does have one of the holiest sites in Jainism. How do you pronounce it? The Shikharji, known for having a lot of minerals that they mine, and famous cricketer Dhoni came from here as well. Karnataka, capital Bengaluru, formerly known as Bangalore. The capital, Bengaluru, is kind of known as like the Silicon Valley of India. So many IT companies and startups are coming out in this city, and they have the lowest unemployment rate in all of India at less than 1%. Otherwise, they're known for having the Hampi ruins, and they speak Kannada, or is that how you pronounce it? I was told it's pronounced
The
Kannada,
KGF
but
fans,
some
you
people
know.
have said Canada.
Let's
Like,
get
what?
it.
Is it Kerala, capital Tiruvananthapuram. Tiruvananthapuram. Say that 3 times fast. Tiruvananthapuram. Tiruvananthapuram. This place is kind of famous for being known as the spot where Jesus' apostle Thomas kind of landed and spread the Christian gospel. And today you see kind of like a lot of Catholics and Christians, and they all kind of speak Malayalam. A little bit of a tongue twister. Say it with me. Malayalam. It's not Malayam or Malayam. It's Malayalam. Backwater is a very famous place. And yeah, Kerala is kind of like the state that's like doing pretty well overall in a lot of things like literacy and HDI and all that other stuff. All the other states are like, maybe we can kind of take pointers from Kerala. Madhya Pradesh, capital Bhopal. The heart of India. The history state with tons of
Yo, look at
religious
that one,
and
eh?
historical sites. You have the Bhimbetka rock shelters. You have the Khajuraho temples, which kind of depicts all those, Kama Sutra, sexually explicit images going on. A lot of you have told me to mention the Bhopal gas tragedy that happened in 1984. And I was also told that the people here seem to be really big devotees of Ganesh. Maharashtra, capital Mumbai. This is the richest state and the second most populous, third largest in area. It's kind of like
Everyone in the
the
world's
New
heard of
York
Mumbai,
and
right?
Los Angeles of India. It's
Yeah.
like the economic hub and the entertainment hub. Bollywood is over here. Tons of people flock over to pursue their dreams. I mean, aside from all that though, they do have a lot of like Marathi forts and like historical sites as well. But yeah, Maharashtra is kind of like the central nucleus that everything kind of builds off of and expands outwards from. It pushes India forward. Manipur, capital Imphal. This is one of the 7 sister states. A lot of the people here, just like all the other 7 sisters, have a little bit more of like an East Asian look to them. They're known for having their own distinct hill tribes. 5-time world amateur boxing champion Mary Kom came from here. They're also
There
known for
it is.
having these cool floating islands and boxing women. Meghalaya, capital Shillong. This place is known as the abode of rain, and they're kind of like the water people of India. These 2 villages get the most rain in all of India. They have really interesting matrilineal tribes, and they have really cool foggy hills. But yeah, cool hill people with their own customs, and the water people.
It's
Mizoram,
like a
capital
tree bridge.
Aizawl, the land of blue mountains. This is the most forested state in all of India at over 90%. Pretty eco-friendly.
there it is.
They even have eco tours. It's kind of like the Costa Rica of India. The people here are just really chill, and they just kind of like sell their handicrafts at the market. All right, so that's the halfway point. Just very quickly before we move on to the next one, just want to say thank you to Cetera, our sponsor for this video. Cetera is a really cool geography learning game that you can actually download on Android or iOS at this link right here, or you can just go to the website and play. There are tons of games you can choose from. Here you got a lot of things like regions, physical landscapes, capitals. You can even custom create your own game, and they actually made a Geography Now game. Not only that, but the game also comes in 34 different languages. It's really fun. I totally recommend you guys check it out. Go to online.cetera.com.
I'm just saying, but I failed geography like
Nagaland,
3
capital
times.
Kohima. This is like the most Christian state of India, but they also still kind of retain their own indigenous tribal cultures and customs, famous for the Hornbill Festival. And it's funny because like they're very westernized, but they know that the tourists come in, and so they kind of have to like put on their traditional costumes and put on a show. But it's like, hey, whatever makes us money. Odisha, formerly known as Orissa, capital Bhubaneswar, known as the land of cyclones. It's also known for being like the ISRO's launch site for their satellite programs. This is one of the 3 states that never broke up throughout all of Indian statehood history. It's kind of known as like the state that bridges the north and south. They speak the Oriya language. They have an amazing wetland and mangrove park where you can find like tigers and elephants. Probably the most famous landmark being the Sun Temple of Konark. Punjab, capital Chandigarh, shared with Haryana. Keep in mind, this is only part of the larger Punjab territory, which is also shared with Pakistan. A lot of you guys had stuff to say about Punjab. Overall, a lot of you said that Punjab is probably the most loved state in India, partially thanks to Bollywood. They got really good food, really nice people. They have the largest Sikh community in all of India. They also have the holiest site in Sikhism, the Golden Temple. And there's a ton of forts and palaces like this one. Rajasthan, capital Jaipur, the land of Rajas or kings. It's the largest state in area at 341 square kilometers. It is also one of the states that never broke up, and there are just endless forts and palaces found in this
that's
state.
what I'm saying.
Things
The
like
history of those
Camel Fair.
temples.
Supposedly, I was told they have like the best henna artists.
henna.
Keep in mind, food-wise, they keep things very spicy, and it is at about 75% of the population the most vegetarian state in India. Vegetarian kings in the sand. Sikkim, capital Gangtok. Now this is an interesting one because it kind of joined India in 1975 to kind of avoid the Chinese. It used to be its own kingdom, and these people are very similar to the people of Bhutan. They can kind of generally understand each other's languages. Lots of Tibetan Buddhist type of culture going on here as well. And it is, as of right now, the most environmentally friendly state in all of India. It is almost completely organic, as in they don't believe in using chemicals or pesticides in their agriculture. Very clean air. They love nature, and they love. They're just. It's kind of like the Bhutan of India. Tamil Nadu, capital Chennai. Now, if you want real like South Dravidian Indian culture, you come here. This is like straight up the southern capital of India. The main language they speak, of course, is Tamil, which is completely unintelligible to Hindi. They have so many temples, including the largest functioning Hindu temple in the world. Technically, Angkor Wat is a bigger Hindu temple, but it's no longer active, so it kind of doesn't count. I was told they are big fans of Rajnikant. Telangana, capital Hyderabad, the youngest state of India. They literally split up from Andhra Pradesh in 2014. I was told it's kind of like the whole, Catalina, Spain thing where they're like, hey, we're making a lot of money, but you guys are dragging us down, so we're gonna kind of split off and make our own thing. And then Andhra Pradesh was like, no, you can't do that. And they're like, yes, we can. And we're gonna take Hyderabad. They're like, no, you can't do that. And like, yes, we can. Make your own capital. Yeah, messy divorce. Anyway, they're also famous for Tollywood or Telugu Hollywood. And it's interesting because they still kind of retain a little bit of the Persian culture that was brought over from the Mughals and Nizams. You can find it in things like the painting and their shadow puppets. Tripura, capital Agartala. I was told, is this even India? It's like the state that very few people even know much about. It's like all sides of their state are surrounded by Bangladesh. So no shocker, they have a lot of Bangladeshi immigrants. Apparently I was told they like to play horse polo. But yeah, I think out of all the states, they are kind of like the biggest anomaly. It's just like the mystery state. People probably come here to hide out and avoid the authorities when they're on the loose. I don't know. Uttar Pradesh, capital Lucknow. This is the Taj Mahal state. And it's kind of like oh dang, where did that baby boom come from? You guys just like exploded in population in the past few years. And now it is the most populous state. It's also home to Varanasi, one of the most famous cities in the world for Hinduism, Jains, and Buddhists. And yeah, a lot of fertile land over here. Lots of spices and agriculture happen in this state. Very key, important player in all of India. You cannot have India without Uttar Pradesh. Uttarakhand, capital Dehradun. This place actually has some of the holiest sites in all of Hinduism. It has the Jim Corbett National Park, beautiful mountains. Again, I was told these people are super nice, very welcoming, and I was specifically told to tell you guys that Urvashi Rautela is from this state. West Bengal, capital Calcutta, or Kolkata, they changed the spelling. This is the last state that never broke up in all of India. Technically, if you consider the fact that it broke up from East Bengal, which became Bangladesh, but yeah. These people are kind of also known for having some of the best sweets in all of India, and they're also known for having some of the best literature and academics. Some of the greatest minds from India, like this guy came from here. They're also known for being very strong devotees to Durga. Sweets and academics, West Bengal. Now we reach the Union Territories.
It's pretty important.
The Andaman and Nicobar Islands, capital Port Blair. This place is known for being home to one of the last uncontacted human tribes on Earth, the Sentinelese. You are not allowed to visit their island. It's also home to India's only volcano. Chandigarh. Now this is interesting. It's the capital of both Punjab and Haryana, but it's also a Union Territory in itself. Basically, this was a planned city that was built because they gave Lahore to Pakistan. And it was kind of made to be like a model of affordable housing in India. It's a new city. Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. There's the interesting thing. Gujarat, like I mentioned, does not allow alcohol. Maharashtra does. So where do they meet in the middle? These Union Territories. These places are kind of known as like the places where both states can kind of join together and have a beer. And Daman and Diu, I think it was also Portuguese, wasn't it? Yeah. Lakshadweep means 100 islands. Basically, in a nutshell, the majority of people here are Muslim, and they're very similar to the people of the Maldives. You find a lot of atolls and a lot of people living on these narrow sandbanks, and they have like an island culture. The capital territory
like
of
a resort,
Delhi.
you know?
Keep in mind, this is a separate entity from New Delhi. But yeah, this is kind of basically where all the politicians go and the worst drivers in India, I was supposedly told. And even though they are a territory, they still have their own legislative assembly. It's weird. But yeah, busy
India has
people
like no
making
road rules
laws,
anyways,
causing
pretty
controversy
much.
for the rest of the country. And finally, Puducherry, capital Pondicherry. This is the French-speaking area of India. And here you can also
didn't know
find
that?
Auroville, the hippie village. where all the people
French-speaking
kinda came
area.
together and they wanted to make their own utopia. But then there was a little bit of controversy, but yeah, look into it. But yeah, French-speaking Indians. And that is that! Once again, thank you to you guys, all the
that was
Indian
fast.
geographers that
Yes.
helped me out with this video by giving information. I hope I got most of it right. But yeah, in a nutshell, India has so many different types of people groups and languages and cultures and traditions and customs. It's like you can't summarize it all in one video, and obviously this one didn't even scratch the surface. But for what it's
Yeah.
worth, beautiful country, and I'm so glad and honored to have done this video. Thank you, stay cool, stay tuned.
Oh, exactly. You know, we're just happy to be like able to experience this as well. You know, we wouldn't have like any of this if not for them doing the research as well. You know, or even the fans helping them gather all the information.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing.
So we need to check the every single status one.
Very amazing. Like, you know, the states and territories, this one here
Yes.
was actually easier to understand more than the last one. I don't know if it's because like he was speaking slightly slower
Yes.
or just like the way that the information was brought across was easier to understand. Because last time, man, that was so fast.
Yes,
I felt like,
really fast and like too much, so many, you know,
Absolutely.
information. So,
and I'm just saying, but you know, the history, the temples, everything like that.
Yes.
I love history and temples.
Yes.
Because literally, if I said this last time, I think, before I go to sleep or something like that, I always watch like a history video
Yes,
about
yes,
like
yeah.
archaeology or something like that. I'm just like, yeah, I need to know. I need to know this history.
yes.
And you know, as he said in this video as well, India is very diverse, very big. We're
Yes.
never going to, like, even if I spend like my whole life exploring like suggestions from your YouTube videos, things like that, I'm still not going to understand everything about India.
Yes.
Like, I could literally spend every second of my life learning about India's history,
Yes.
and I still would just be on the surface. So, isn't that amazing? Like, they have that much information and history in their culture that you could spend your whole life doing it and still not even be able to fully understand.
It's more like a, you know, but that things is more interesting.
Yeah.
You know.
Or even how they had like those 3 states that completely never broke up in all
Yes.
of India's history. Wow.
Yes.
Like, you know, those temples and stuff as well, like super beautiful, and then like you can see with age and like weathering, things like that, but then they're still standing, still like showing strong, looking
Yes.
absolutely amazing, right?
And then, you know, the people's face is slightly different.
Yeah, exactly.
Depending on the status.
Yeah,
you
like
know.
and also the French speaking, you know.
Yes, yes.
Who would have guessed that? French speaking. And then I thought it was interesting as well, but like really known for tea.
Yeah.
So that's definitely on your side. For me, I drink. I'll be going to them drinking states, and I'll be like, yeah, boy, I
Yeah.
need me my alcohol. So
And then I really like their, the how can I say? It's a classic clothes.
the
How can I explain?
cultural
Yeah,
tribal,
culture. Yeah,
clothes.
that's really cool.
yeah, yeah, absolutely amazing. Like I do love how every single country has like the historic and
Yeah.
it's like their own type. But in
Yes.
terms of this one here, it's completely different in each state. Like it changes absolutely completely. How they had that forest state as well, you
Yes.
know, and you know they have the island that has never been contacted by the outside world either. That's what I'm saying. There's so much to learn, so much to still learn.
Yes.
You know,
So we learned like how like big and then like how so many like
what
the
is what,
history.
what is where.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe now we should start like watch like every single status one.
I mean-
more like a deep history.
Yeah, exactly. More deep history. I mean, luckily, I do like reactions of like musicians
Yes.
in different areas, or like movies from different areas
Yes.
of India as well. So like you would have noticed during a few of that, I was like,
Yes.
yeah, I know the Karnataka. There's that KGF land right
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. Or also ASN from there as well. Absolutely amazing there. Or with Thrapathy VJ, you know, down in the Tamil. And then Telugu, I was thinking of Alawajun. You know, I don't know. It just
Yeah.
it adds up.
True. Learning the Indian history is really good because like recently we watching like an Indian movie, so it's more enjoying, right? Yeah.
Although recently we've been watching more like Shah Rukh Khan and
Yes.
Hrithik Roshan, you know, Tiger Shroff, all of that jazz. It's just, I don't know. There's so much stuff to watch,
Yes.
so much content there.
Yes.
But stay tuned because we're going to try to cover it all.
Yes.
Okay, so that was our reaction to the states and territories of India. If you guys enjoyed that, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe down below, and as always, don't forget to hit that bell button for more videos every single day.
day.
And thank you so much, Geography Now, once
Thank
again.
you.
It's so amazing that you can actually bring across this information
Yes.
to us foreign people and actually let us also dive into the culture, dive into the history of India. I really appreciate it because it just makes my understanding that much more there, right?
Yes.
Like I can just experience more or even just talk to my friends more about, hey, did you know this?
Yes.
You know? Absolutely amazing. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Geography Now as well if you have
Yes.
not, because, you know, they deserve it. Watch the video again with them as well because, you know, absolutely amazing. You know,
Yes.
they do the research, they put in the time
Yeah.
and the effort.
If we research like we ourselves, and it takes some more time.
Oh, it'll take
Heaps
hundreds of
yes.
hours, you know, like
Yes.
this was
So
absolutely
appreciate,
amazing.
you know.
And like the summary was so well put together.
Yeah.
So thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
And after all of that, I'll see all of you guys tomorrow.